On the fringes of the Imperium, where the light of the Astronomicon waned, rogue trader Valeria Darrow sailed her vessel, the Void Serpent, through the tumultuous warp. Her lust for wealth and glory had led her to the edges of sanity, and whispers of forbidden treasures drew her deeper into the darkness. Word reached Darrow of a fabled system hidden in the twisted currents of the warp, where the ruins of an ancient Xeno civilization promised untold riches. Temptation gnawed at her as the voices of the warp promised her power beyond imagination. Ignoring the warnings of her astropaths, Darrow set a course for the accursed system. As the Void Serpent transitioned from the warp to real space, a palpable malevolence clung to the air. The planets in the system loomed like forgotten monuments, bathed in an eerie glow. A feeling of foreboding settled over the crew as they descended onto the desolate surface of the principal planet, Velthara Prime. The ruins of the Xeno civilization sprawled across the landscape, their twisted spires reaching towards the oppressive sky. Darrow, driven by avarice, led her entourage through the crumbling corridors, their footsteps echoing in the silence of the forsaken city. The air was thick with a spectral chill as they navigated the labyrinth of alien architecture. In the heart of the city, Darrow discovered an ancient chamber adorned with Xenos glyphs that seemed to pulse with eldritch energy. At its center lay a dais upon which rested a crystalline artifact emanating an otherworldly radiance. Greed glinted in Darrow's eyes as she reached for the artifact, oblivious to the whispers that echoed in the depths of the chamber. As her fingers closed around the crystalline object, a surge of energy coursed through Darrow's veins. Unearthly voices filled her mind, promising unimaginable power in exchange for her servitude. The rogue trader, intoxicated by the lure of forbidden might, accepted the Dark Pact without hesitation. The artifact fused with Darrow's flesh, etching arcane runes onto her skin. She emerged from the chamber with an unholy glow, her eyes ablaze with a sinister light. The crew, witnessing the transformation, felt a chill seep into their souls. Unbeknownst to them, the deal struck in the Xenos chamber had bound them all to a pact with the dark powers lurking within the warp. As the Void Serpent set sail once more, a pervasive darkness clung to the ship. The warp itself seemed to recoil at the taint that now tainted the vessel. Darrow's once loyal crew, now unwitting thralls to the malevolent forces, carried out her commands with an eerie obedience. As the Void Serpent traversed the warp, the boundaries between reality and nightmare blurred. Strange occurrences plagued the ship, apparitions of long-forgotten crew members, spectral whispers that echoed in the corridors, and glimpses of twisted entities that flickered in and out of existence. The crew, gripped by an unseen terror, dared not speak of the horrors that lurked in the shadows. Darrow, meanwhile, reveled in the newfound power bestowed upon her by the Dark Pact. Her once sharp features now bore the marks of the warp, her eyes gleaming with an otherworldly fervor. She navigated the void with an uncanny precision, her ship seemingly guided by unseen hands. The whispers of the warp grew louder in Darrow's mind, urging her to seek out further forbidden knowledge. The rogue trader, consumed by the insatiable thirst for power, set course for the dreaded maelstrom, a roiling warp storm where the veil between reality and the immaterial was thin. As the Void Serpent entered the maelstrom, reality twisted and contorted. The crew, now little more than hollow-eyed husks, moved with mechanical precision. The ship itself seemed alive with eldritch energy, its hull resonating with the tortured cries of entities that existed between worlds. Within the heart of the maelstrom, Darrow discovered a derelict space hulk, an ancient vessel lost to the warp's capricious currents. A pulsating rift, a tear in the fabric of reality, beckoned her closer. The whispers intensified, revealing to her the existence of an ancient demon imprisoned within the hulk, a creature of unspeakable power that sought release. Driven by the dark forces that gripped her, Darrow ordered her crew to open the rift. The barriers between the warp and real space fractured, and the imprisoned demon's malevolence spilled forth. The once proud rogue trader, now a vessel for the warp's corruption, cackled with manic glee as the demon's influence spread like cancer. Reality itself wavered as the demon's power consumed the Void Serpent. The once majestic vessel contorted into a nightmarish amalgamation of metal and warp energy. Crew members transformed into grotesque entities, their forms shifting and melting as the demon's essence seeped into their very beings. In the heart of the maelstrom, the rogue trader's folly reached its zenith. The twisted hulk, now a conduit for the warp's unrestrained power, pulsed with an eldritch glow. Darrow, consumed by the dark forces she had unleashed, laughed amidst the chaos, her sanity lost to the insatiable hunger of the warp. As the accursed vessel drifted deeper into the maelstrom, the taint of the dark powers lingered, a silent horror beneath the surface of the warp. The tale of rogue trader Valeria Darrow became a cautionary legend, a reminder that the pursuit of forbidden knowledge and the thirst for power could lead even the most ambitious souls to a fate worse than death in the grim darkness of the far future. In the sprawling voidscape of the Coronis expanse, where the cold embrace of the warp coexisted with the endless reaches of the void, a rogue trader named Captain Lysander Blackthorn navigated his vessel, the Starlight Seraph. His ship, adorned with the opulence befitting a rogue trader of his stature, cut through the inky darkness of the void, leaving behind a trail of shimmering stardust. Captain Blackthorn, a man whose ambitions knew no bounds, had long coveted the treasures rumored to be hidden within the uncharted sectors of the expanse. His insatiable desire for wealth and power led him to make a deal with an enigmatic Xenos species known as the Enthralathi. The Xenos, masters of forbidden knowledge and custodians of ancient artifacts, promised Blackthorn unimaginable riches in exchange for his loyalty. As the Starlight Seraph ventured deeper into uncharted territories, the crew began to feel the insidious influence of the Xenos Pact. Whispers of forgotten promises echoed through the ship's corridors, and unsettling visions plagued the crew's dreams. The very fabric of reality seemed to warp, and shadows danced with unseen malevolence. The ship's astropath, a psyker named Elira, became the unwilling conduit for the Xenos whispers. Her eyes, once a window to the warp's mysteries, now glowed with an unnatural radiance. Elira's mind, entwined with the Xenos influence, projected visions of a realm where the boundaries between reality and the Imperium blurred into a tapestry of eldritch horrors. Captain Blackthorn, intoxicated by the allure of the Xenos promises, dismissed the crew's growing unease. He reveled in the treasures amassed during his ventures into the Expanse's unexplored sectors, heedless of the toll the Xenos Pact exacted on his ship and crew. The breaking point came when the navigator, a grizzled veteran named Mordecai, succumbed to the Xenos influence. Mordecai's third eye, the source of his warp navigational abilities, became a portal to a realm of unspeakable darkness. He spoke in tongues, his voice a cacophony of eldritch whispers that echoed through the ship's corridors. In a fit of madness, Mordecai manipulated the ship's warp engines, plunging the Starlight Seraph into a realm where time and space melded into a nightmarish tapestry. Reality itself seemed to unravel as the ship traversed the shifting currents of the Imperium. The crew, gripped by terror, witnessed the ship's transformation into a nightmarish amalgamation of Xenos architecture and human technology. The very hull of the Starlight Seraph seemed to bleed shadows, and the warp's malevolence seeped into every corner of the vessel. As the ship re-entered real space, the crew found themselves in an uncharted sector shrouded in perpetual darkness. Blackthorn, undeterred by the horrors that befell his ship, believed that the Xenos Pact had granted him access to a realm of untold riches. However, The true cost of the pact became evident as the crew encountered a Xenos species previously unknown to the Imperium, the Drakvar, ancient beings whose psychic resonance with the warp rendered them immune to its malevolent influence. The Drakvar, guardians of the uncharted sector, viewed the intrusion of the Starlight Seraph as an affront to the delicate balance they maintained. In retaliation, they unleashed psychic horrors upon the rogue trader's crew. Nightmarish entities born of the warp's darkest recesses manifested on the ship, hunting the crew with an insatiable hunger. Elira, the astropath, torn between loyalty to her comrades and the Xenos influence, became the focal point of the Drakvar's wrath. Her psychic abilities, once a conduit to the warp's mysteries, now unleashed eldritch energies that tore through the fabric of reality. The crew, trapped in a surreal nightmare, fought desperately for survival. Captain Blackthorn, finally realizing the gravity of his folly, confronted the Xenos influence that had ensnared him. The Drakvar, ancient and powerful, revealed the true nature of the Xenos Pact. They sought to use the rogue trader as a pawn to manipulate the warp's energies and unleash a cataclysm that would reshape the sector in their image. In a moment of clarity, Blackthorn renounced the Xenos Pact, severing the connection that bound him to the Drakvar. The psychic horrors, once under the influence of the Xenos, turned on their masters. The ship became a battleground, a chaotic dance of warp-spawned entities and the desperate remnants of the rogue trader's crew. As the Starlight Seraph tore through the void, leaving the uncharted sector behind, the crew witnessed the wrath of the Drakvar consuming the Xenos species. The very fabric of the warp rebelled against the intruders, and the darkness that shrouded the sector convulsed in a cataclysmic event. In the aftermath, the Starlight Seraph emerged from the uncharted sector, battered and scarred by the horrors it had endured. Captain Blackthorn, haunted by the regrets of his actions, vowed to redeem himself in the eyes of the Imperium. The crew, survivors of a nightmarish odyssey, bore witness to the consequences of betrayal in the grim darkness of the far future. The once ambitious rogue trader, now burdened by the weight of his decisions, set a course for the Imperium, determined to atone for the sins committed in pursuit of forbidden knowledge. The Voidscape, silent witness to the horrors that unfolded, embraced the Starlight Seraph as it sailed through the cold reaches of the Coronis expanse, a testament to the fragility of ambition in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. In the far reaches of the galaxy, where the light of the Astronomicon waned and the boundaries of the Imperium blurred, a rogue trader vessel known as the Stellar Empress sailed through the void. Its captain, the daring and ambitious Thaddeus Vance, sought fortune and glory amidst the uncharted stars of the Fringe worlds. Little did he know that his lust for power would lead him to confront horrors beyond mortal comprehension. The Stellar Empress, a grand cruiser adorned with the opulence of a bygone era, boasted a crew as eclectic as the stars themselves. Navigator Adelia Taras, with her piercing gaze and uncanny ability to chart the treacherous warp routes, guided the vessel through the tides of the Immaterium. Tech Priest Dominicus, his form encased in ancient cybernetics, tended to the arcane machinery that powered the ship's engines. A motley assortment of voidsmen, mercenaries, and sanctioned psychers comprised the crew that called the Stellar Empress their home. As the vessel traversed the Fringe worlds, Thaddeus Vance's ambitions grew ever bolder. Rumors of lost colonies, forgotten relics, and untapped resources whispered through the void, beckoning the rogue trader to explore the uncharted territories beyond the borders of the Imperium. With each discovery, the allure of power and wealth tantalized Vance, driving him deeper into the unknown. It was on the desolate planet of Vorkath Prime that the Stellar Empress stumbled upon an ancient ruin, its towering spires shrouded in mist and mystery. The ruins, remnants of a long-dead civilization, exuded an eerie aura that sent shivers down the spines of even the most seasoned crew members. Yet, Vance saw an opportunity amidst the foreboding silence of the planet's surface. Descending into the depths of the ruins, Vance and his crew discovered a chamber untouched by the ravages of time. Within lay an artifact of unimaginable power, an ancient tome bound in flesh and etched with runes of arcane potency. The crew, their minds intoxicated by the promise of untold riches, retrieved the artifact and returned to the Stellar Empress with their prize. As the vessel departed from Vorkath Prime, a sense of unease settled over the crew. Strange occurrences plagued the ship, malfunctions in the navigational systems, flickering lights in the corridors, and whispers that echoed through the darkness of the void. Navigator Taurus, her once unwavering resolve faltering, spoke of omens and portents that boded ill for their journey. Ignorant of the warnings, Vance pressed on, determined to unlock the secrets of the ancient tome and claim its power as his own. Tech Priest Dominicus, his cybernetic enhancements attuned to the arcane energies that pulsed within the artifact, labored tirelessly to decipher its cryptic contents. Yet, with each passing day, the crew's sanity began to fray under the weight of the artifact's malevolent influence. It was in the dead of night that the horrors lurking within the ancient tome revealed themselves. As Vance and his crew slept fitfully in their quarters, visions of unspeakable terror invaded their dreams. Nightmares of twisted abominations and eldritch entities that lurked in the depths of the void tormented their minds, leaving them shaken and afraid. Awakening to find themselves trapped within a waking nightmare, Vance and his crew struggled to maintain their sanity amidst the chaos that engulfed the Stellar Empress. Shadows writhed in the corners of their vision, and the air crackled with an unseen energy that whispered of doom and despair. The artifact, its pages filled with the secrets of the warp, seemed to pulse with a life of its own, a gateway to realms beyond mortal comprehension. As madness descended upon the vessel, Vance realized the folly of his ambition. The power he had sought had unleashed horrors beyond his control, and now he and his crew were but pawns in a cosmic game played by forces beyond their understanding. With each page turned, the artifact claimed more souls, feeding on the fear and despair that gripped the Stellar Empress like a vice. In a desperate bid for salvation, Vance sought the aid of Navigator Taurus, the one whose foresight had warned of the impending catastrophe. Together, they confronted the artifact in the depths of the ship, their minds steeling themselves against the horrors that lay within. Yet, even as they attempted to destroy the tome, they realized the futility of their efforts. The artifact was but a vessel for the darkness that dwelled within the warp itself. In a final act of defiance, Vance and Taurus activated the vessel's self-destruct sequence, knowing that it was the only way to prevent the artifact from falling into the hands of those who would seek to exploit its power. As the Stellar Empress erupted into a cataclysmic explosion, consuming the ancient tome and all who dared to possess it, Vance and Taurus faced their fate with grim resolve. As the dust settled and the wreckage of the Stellar Empress drifted silently through the void, the artifact lay buried amidst the ruins of Vorkath Prime, its secrets lost to the ages. Thaddeus Vance's Gambit had ended in tragedy, a cautionary tale of the dangers that lurked in the darkest corners of the Fringe worlds. And amidst the stars, where the boundaries of reality blurred and the whispers of the warp echoed through the void, the legacy of the rogue trader's folly lived on as a reminder of the price paid for greed and ambition.